Hey everyone, this is DyanaRozay. Welcome to my channel. I have a commentary and recap on Love and Marriage Huntsville. This was season 5, episode 3. And you guys, this episode was really slow and it was redundant as hell. So I'm going to give you guys the juicy bits, but go ahead, hit your like, subscribe, and that notification bell. That'll help push me up in the algorithm so that others can find me. And as always, I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me. So let's get started. So it picks up where it left off. Dr. Francis is having a one-on-one with Kimmy and Maurice. Dr. Francis is trying to get Maurice to understand and appreciate Kimmy as his wife, partner, friend, human, and not just a body to have sex with. He said the sooner you get this, the better off you will be. And Maurice looked at Dr. Francis like he just gave him the keys to a secret sex vault. And he's like, are you serious? And he looks over at Kimmy. Kimmy's like, what is your problem? Seriously. She's looking at him like, what is your problem? He said, did you hear what he just said? Do you agree with that? Do you agree with that? He said that if I can respect you or embrace you as a person, that you'll have more sex. And that Dr. Francis said, I didn't say that at all. Dr. Francis said, I told you to connect with her as a person and not just a body. Maurice is like, oh. Kimmy looks completely defeated, maybe even a little embarrassed. In confessional, she said, this is a conversation that Maurice and I have had for basically the entirety of their relationship. They had it in premarital counseling. Maurice pretends like he gets it, and then it's more of the same. So she's like, I'm not even going to give this any weight because I know who Maurice is. Then Maurice asked Dr. Francis if there's any way he can get Kimmy to compartmentalize sex. That way, she would just see it as burning off calories, like it's exercise, as opposed to a chore. Then Dr. Francis asked Kimmy, how do you put up with this thing? And even though he laughed, I feel like he was dead serious. That's how that scene ends. So the next day, Scott 1 and 2.0 actually reflect on the retreat. Maurice said that it was hard work, but he would do it again. They also mentioned that Tiffany and Lewis left. They had a speaking engagement, or Tiffany had a speaking engagement in Birmingham. Dr. Francis and his wife arrived. He said that Tiffany and Lewis just weren't invested and that they really could have benefited from staying that last day. Then Marsau makes a joke. He tells Dr. Francis that it was nice of him to bring his lady friend, referring to Dr. Francis's wife. And even though they all laugh, I got the keen impression Dr. Francis does not like Marsau. Dr. Francis told Marsau that he used to be an engineer. And truth be told, I think he was saying it to let him know, look, I know you don't respect me as a counselor, but I'm smarter than you no matter what. And then he told him that Marsau would find a way to split a strand of hair 8 times, okay? And he was basically saying that he was an expert bullshitter. On their way out the door, Dr. Francis's wife pulls Tisha aside and said, you remind me a lot of myself when I was younger. And she could tell that Tisha was putting everything into keeping her family together, her family, her marriage, her kids. She was like, soon all of those people will be out of your house and you're going to be left with nothing. So figure out what it is that's going to keep you happy and make you want to wake up in the morning. In the next scene, we have Kimmy, Tisha, and Destiny. They rehash the couples trip. Destiny asked, why wasn't she invited? And Kimmy said, because you're not a couple. Then they poke a little fun at Destiny about her being so secretive and having a new boo. Then Kimmy says we should have a barbecue so everyone can meet him. Child, then Destiny said, where can we get some good barbecue, or who's going to make it? And Kimmy said, I know a place that makes some excellent barbecue. I know somebody who can hook it up. And she poked at Destiny for a good little minute before Destiny caught on that she was talking about her ex, the barbecue man. In confessional, Kimmy continued the conversation about Destiny being secretive. She says she is tight-lipped about her divorce. She was tight-lipped about how her store was doing. She said that's just who Destiny is. Then Kimmy let the ladies know that she had lunch with Melody and that Melody shared with her that Martell was cheating before they even got married, and that Melody believes that Martell maintained an on and off again relationship with Melneka throughout the years. In the flashback scene, Kimmy feigned shock and said, but Melneka is married. Melody said, so? What that mean? Now Tisha and Destiny both respond to this, but in 2 very different ways. Now, Tisha, in a very non-reactive way, said, why is Melody telling you this now? Which is a normal question. All she's asking is, how did y'all even get to this conversation, okay? But Destiny is very reactive. She's making some Helen Keller faces, talking about, well, what was the point? Why is she bringing it up now? What was the point of it? Kimmy immediately brings it back to her and said, because my big mouth brought it up. I let her know that Melneka was in ATL on that second boys' trip. In confessional, Destiny said, I've known Melneka and Martell for a very long time, and I've never seen that dynamic in their relationship. Then she said, I don't put any faith into any rumor that's started by Mel. So if it happened and it was that long ago, she should leave it in the past. Destiny loves to say that she is tired of people making up rumors that her and Martell was sleeping together, but the possessiveness that she has over this man, anytime Melody's name is mentioned, is insane. Mel was married to Martell. Her marriage and her 4 children in that marriage trumps any friendship you had with Martell. You don't have to like it, but you should know when to fall back. Melody is still dealing with the trauma that Martell has inflicted on her, and if she wants to speak his name on her damn deathbed, she can do that. Then the scene wraps with Destiny inviting Kimmy and Tisha to the reopening of her hair store. Kimmy asks if Melody and Stormy would be invited. Destiny makes another face, and then she was like, the people that need to be there will be there. Kimmy said, what's the answer on Melody and Stormy? Destiny said, I'm going to need security. Tisha says, facts. And neither Tisha or Kimmy holds Destiny accountable in this scene, because at the Galentine's event, where security actually was needed, Destiny was the aggressor. She picked up a chair and threatened to throw it at Stormy, who was sitting in her seat. At the very minimum, Kimmy should have told her to stop talking dumb, because just like Melody said, nobody has time for moments. In the next scene, Louis, Marsau, Maurice, and Martell meet up to play pool. They rehash the retreat. The Scotts poke fun at Louis about Dr. Francis. The guys all share their takeaway from the retreat, and then at the end of the scene, Martell again says that he wants to be married again. They start saying, it's too soon for you to be married again. He was like, well, not tomorrow, but definitely again. He actually said that he would cherish it next time. And I do want to say this because when people have bad experiences in marriage, they don't want to get married again. But Martell keeps shouting out on all platforms that he wants to remarry, that he wants to have more kids, and that he wants to do it sooner than later, even though he hasn't learned anything from the first divorce. So you guys, the next scene is Melody and Martell. Melody actually is dropping the kids off to Martell. I guess it's his week. She said this is the first time she's ever been over Martell's house. And of course, she called first to make sure it was okay for her to come over. And she actually said that in her confessional. But when she comes in, she's just standing there. She's waiting for Martell to say it's okay for her to sit down. He's kind of like, Mel, come in, have a seat. And she was like, well, I'm going to get your permission first. The kids are like, oh, we thought this was your house, which is hilarious. But that's what kids do when they are super giddy. They're happy. They don't know, how to put those emotions into words. So they're just kind of saying awkward things. But you could tell they were really happy to see their mother and father in the same room together, talking to each other peacefully. It really made them happy. And they were all just kind of jumping around on the couch, on top of her lap, just being super giddy. Anyway, Melody asked the kids to excuse themselves so that she could talk to Martell. And she jumps right into it. She asked Martell, has he heard what Wanda's been saying about Sugar Mama? She's basically saying, you're not the father. Martell said, no, I did not hear it. And then he asked her what happened to bring it about. Then we get a flashback scene of Melody on Carlos King's nighttime show where she said that Tisha's daddy was in her DMs. Martell said, oh yeah, I do remember that. He giggles about it. And then Mel said, I think we need to address it because clearly she didn't get it from last time, 1 or 2 years ago, when you confronted her about the comment she made about our kids' hair. Then Martell said, we definitely need to address it, but maybe more you than me, because he said he got attacked last time. He was pushing up on Wanda and it didn't look good. Melody said, no problem, I'll take care of it. Martell said, I 100% agree with you. Then Melody says that Wanda, no miss, okay, is trying to attach herself to our kids' legacy because our kids are going to do great things. And I don't want people to Google them years from now and that bitch's name pops up. Martell said, we're not divided when it comes to our kids. Then he said, if y'all don't move, and in unison, both Martell and Mel said, we will move. Then Mel started laughing and she was like, aw, shoot. And Martell starts laughing. They have their little moment. Then Martell said that they have been doing a great job at co-parenting for the last month and a half. And Mel said that she agreed. She also said that she really appreciates that he's been respecting her boundaries. And I have to say that the facial expressions that Martell was given, his eyes, all of that, it was real mischievous. There was something else going on in his mind. Then Melody invites him on the family vacation to Destin, Florida with her and the kids. And he accepts. He said, just keep me posted. In the next scene, we get Miss Destiny. She is at home with her baby. She gives her assistant a call. They do a FaceTime where she's talking about the soft opening of Madani. In this scene, we learn that Destiny is renting the space for Madani, even though we had previously been told that she had purchased the building and that she was going to lease the suites in the building. It looks like that didn't pan out. She herself is leasing the suite. And then she calls her boyfriend. His name is Moses. He lives in St. Louis, so she's doing another long distance relationship. She said that he is also a divorcee and he's an alpha male. So in the last scene, Martell meets with a couple at the wine rack and they do a taste test of his wine to see if it's something they want to carry at their facility. And of course, everything works out. Then we have Miss Destiny who walks into the scene. In confessional, Martell said she was supposed to have been there earlier for moral support, but of course she was late. Then she invited Martell to her store opening. Martell asks if she's going to invite Melody. Destiny starts to drink wine instead of answering his question. Martell rephrases the question and said, have you talked to Melody? Then Destiny said, we haven't talked, but you know how I rock. In confessional, Destiny says, I wasn't pretending to be friends with Melody. I was her real friend. Then she proceeds to tell Martell that Melody is spreading rumors that you are sleeping with Melneka. Not only were you sleeping with her before y'all got married, and she married you anyway, but according to her, y'all still sleeping together now. Then Martell pretended like he didn't even know what was going on, okay? Even though Melneka quit as your wedding planner 1 week before your wedding, Martell said, well, that happened 14 years ago. I can't remember. And then his facial expressions and his eyes were just as shifty as when he was sitting on that couch in front of Melody, okay? And that let me know all I needed to know for that scene. You guys, let me know what y'all think about all of this in the comments. Talk to me, please. Like the video, subscribe to my channel, hit your notification bell, and I will check you all on the next one.